welcome to my channel. My name is Linda. I'm so glad you're able to join me today. I've got a lot of fun in store for you. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started. So for our projects today, we're going to need one of these thick hearts, one of these houses, and then two of these open houses, so to speak, a large heart ornament, wood heart ornament, a wood heart sticker. All of these things are from Dollar Tree. And then this is from a sign I took off our last project from our last video. So if you don't have that, like a piece of square wood, we'll start out by taking the stuff off of the sign. And then also I'm going to take one of these houses and I'm going to remove the back. I'm using a palette knife from Dollar Tree, taking that back piece off. Be careful, but a little pressure, save that, frame part. Maybe you could use it later. And we're going to use this back piece to close the other house, to make a tag out of it. So then essentially we'll have two size tags. I'm going to mark a little hole on the top tag, and then on the shorter wood house tag, I'm going to mark a cross because I'm going to take my miter box and saw and cut that little point off the top, and then I'm going to mark a hole here where I need to drill. So I've cut that off camera. Take my drill our hole so we can put some twine through it later. Got that done. And then for our top tag, I'm going to use my crocodile here and punch the hole on this one. And then I can't use my crocodile on the other end of the house, the other piece, back piece, because obviously I'll mark the hole, but obviously I can't take that off, so I'm going to have to just drill through it here. And then I'll make sure everything lines up. I kind of had to flip the tag around the other way to line the holes up. And then I'm going to start painting everything. So I'm going to use Dixie Belle chalk paint in Rustic Red. Caviar, which is just a black for these pieces. And for these pieces here, I'll use the drop cloth shade. So basically a red, a black, and then kind of an off-white shade. And I'll start by painting a little bit. So for the taller tag and the larger heart, I do the off-white shade. I'm liking this Valentine's. If you're noticing with all my videos, I'm kind of in a red and black theme here. I don't know why, I'm just liking that this time, so I apologize. Throwing a little bit of pink and gray here and there, but mostly kind of the reds and the blacks and creams. But you could choose whatever colors you want. So just going to paint a little bit of all these pieces for you. Making sure I kind of paint the edges, especially of this piece, because that's what's going to get seen. And then a little bit around the perimeter, but we'll cover a lot of it up with paper, of course, but I always make sure I kind of get the edges. And then just in case, because I like to cut my papers a little shorter, about usually 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 inch shorter around all my pieces. So that's why I kind of go around, the front edges and stuff. And usually if I paint something like the hearts and stuff, I will a lot of times just paint the whole thing because it's easiest. But, covering it with paper, don't really need to. And then, of course, painting on this larger tag around the edges and then a little bit around in the perimeter on the front and the back. But you don't have to cut your papers shorter around the edges. I just like that look, and of course, I'll show you as we get a little further into the project. Of course, this project, as you could tell from the pictures at the beginning, it's 3 separate projects, and if you, of course, can keep them separately, and they would go great on tiered trays or just like on a fireplace mantle or whatever. Or I have assembled this, all 3 of these projects so that they course can look good together as one unit, but of course you could separate them and use them however you want. So on the smaller little tag, I'm going to be cutting my paper here, just tracing around it to fit, and I will cut paper to fit front and back, and I traced around it, but I am actually going to go in about I think about 1/4 inch off this one actually, but I've just kind of traced it so I know where to cut about 1/4 inch in. And I'll show you what that looks like in just a minute. If you've been with me a while, you've seen it before. But here's what it looks like. See the little bit of perimeter of the block behind it. I'll go ahead and cut my back piece here. Now that I've got the actual size I need, I can just lay that on top of the second paper and then cut it to the exact same size. There we go. All set, front and back. And I'm going to kind of take a long needle here to go through that hole I drilled, so I know where to use my crocodile here, kind of poked through that one paper so I know where to use my crocodile. Now this here is paper I'm going to be using for the heart. I'm going to show you some paper you can use. This is just paper from my supply. Looks like a light colored wood grain with some writing on it, but I'll have an alternative for you. I'm going to take my heart. This is what I do, when I'm doing hearts and stuff. I trace all the way around it, and then I go about 1/8 of an inch in or so, and I draw a new perimeter line here, and that's what I will cut out. So we're going to go ahead and skip ahead here and glue our one piece onto the back of our open house frame here, so that now we have one big closed up tag. Using Beacon Fabri-Tac glue today. I think I forgot to show that, but that's what I'm using. It's what I always use. I've got all my papers. This is what I use for the black paper. And so at Hobby Lobby, you can get the single sheets, or you can buy this stack here. It's 50 sheets, $7.99. You get 10 sheets of each design. So here's the paper that looks closest to the lighter one I use, just without print. They have a gray, the black, of course the one I just showed you, a brown, and then they've got a really light color here, right here, which, the gray, the light color, and the light brown and the black you can buy in open stock in 12 by 12. But I actually love using this because it's thicker, and it's great for here when I want to create texture on my papers. I open my scissor blades, take the end, and I scrape it along the edge, and so then you can see there what it looks like, giving that kind of rustic, ripped paper look around the edges. So I do that to all my papers. Now I did cut strips for around our tag here, leaving a little perimeter. So sides to top kind of pieces and the bottom. Distressing it with the scissors again. All my pieces here. It looks really great, especially when you have a paper that's kind of got a white inner core, and then the color on top, that white inner core really shows through like on the black paper. So I'll line up, of course, just making sure I need to make sure I punch the hole in the black paper, so lining up my top paper there. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side, layering black first and then the lighter wood panel paper on top. And then gluing down my little strips along all the sides. Add glue to all the strips first, so it's nice and easy. I feel like in my videos I'm just constantly showing you putting glue on my papers, but I want you to see that part for some reason, so you know that I am gluing it down and not just laying it on there. So just kind of add some glue a little bit ahead here, and then I can put the strips on just like this, so it kind of covers all of that. And you could of course skip this part if you don't want to put paper around the edge. Painting some larger beads, you could use the beads from Dollar Tree and paint. I got my beads at Walmart. And then painting that little wood heart sticker from Dollar Tree, and then just doing a little sanding on the beads to make them look a little bit rustic. Just have 80 grit sandpaper on my sanding block here. And then of course distress the paper that goes on the heart. I've got paper for front and back, and of course again traced around it, drew a new perimeter, and then cut out that new pattern so the wood heart below will show around that paper. Gluing everything on. I made a pattern here, of course, from my Cricut Explore Air machine. You could use, of course, stencils from Dollar Tree. A cursive and a print would look really nice. The fonts I used is Corona and Old Style 1, and I will have those listed in the description box. The Old Style one is from defont.com. The Corona, I will have the link to that one. Long needle here, putting my twine through because, we have a wide house now, a wide tag because we put those two together. So by putting the, needle through, it'll get our twine through that. Gonna make a little hole in the middle of our wood heart, and I'm going to put that onto the twine here, one piece of the twine, and then I will, I'm going ahead and adding my beads now, one on each twine, and then I'll take both twines together right underneath the heart and tie them in a knot together. So heart on one side, tie two pieces of twine together in a little knot, and then you can add your beads, kind of a little backwards. course, decide where you want your beads to hang, how low, and then tie a knot at each end of the bead and cut off the excess. That makes this first part of our little ensemble complete. Nice and easy, really farmhouse, rustic, and cute. So I want to take a minute to introduce myself. My name is Linda. If this is your first time to my channel, I've been a crafter for years and love to do all sorts of DIY home decor crafts, from farmhouse to rustic to primitive and even paper crafts. I like to post videos once a week. So if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and hit that red subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on a single video from me. If you're on an Instagram, I have a link in the description box. Pop on over and say hi. And also if you're on Facebook, I do have a group. If you're looking for more DIY inspiration from myself and other crafters, come and join that group. But for now, let's go on to the second part of our project. I've got the papers all ready here, sewn around the edges. This bingo card, this is from scrapbook paper I have, but I did take the time to go look online. If you want some bingo cards, I found free printables and also a digital download if you want to buy them off of Etsy and print them yourself. So these are the pieces I got ready, painted, ready to go. Smaller beads this time. We're going to use that large square, large heart, clothespin, smaller heart, popsicle stick cut in half, and I'm going to use a little Scrabble tile. Going to go ahead again and distress around the edges. And yeah, I don't think I mentioned that in the first craft. I sewed around all the edges of my paper with my sewing machine for those of you who are maybe new to my channel. We're going to get our papers front and back. We're working on the smaller tag here. And then using this wood piece from a previous project in our last video, glued to that. Going to glue or paint a little bit of perimeter of the drop cloth on this heart. I forgot to do it on this one side. Once that's all dry, we'll glue our paper to it. Using my heat tool to dry it really quickly. And if you don't have this little wood panel, you could, any of those, like a piece of cardboard you can cut and make that little wood square. Or if you have those domino pieces I showed you in my last video, you can glue two together and make a square. Or if you have those wood pieces that you can buy in the packages and cut it to size, that works as well. Just putting all my papers on my hearts, and we're going to glue down the little bingo card. And again, I'll have those links in the description box for you. And I'm going to glue a couple of popsicle sticks on the back of the square wood piece, just to raise it up a little bit, and we'll glue that right over the bingo card. And the bingo cards I found are Valentine ones. They say like cutie and kiss, things like that, but just really cute. Thought you could, print those off and size them. Then we're going to add the larger heart on top of the wood square tag. We're going to take this clothespin, add a little glue, and clip it to the upper left corner of our smaller wood heart. And then we're going to glue a little Scrabble tile here, or you can take a couple pieces of popsicle sticks and layer them together to glue on there. You just need enough to take up the bulkiness of that clothespin so that that wood heart sits up level. Now I've taken some stickers here. These are what I get. Tim Holtz Ideology. You can get them in the scrapbook section at, Hobby Lobby or Joann's or Michael's. And I actually put them on really thin cardboard, almost like cereal cardboard. And it's so thin I can sew right through that cardboard with my sewing machine. And so I put them on here so that they're a little bit more sturdy and stiff for gluing onto my project. So I'll get these cut out. And on all my projects, on this first little heart here, or this top heart, you can see kind of that red check. I added that red check to the smaller heart on the first project as well, and then you'll see that red check come in on the last project, so that, like, as I said, all these three can be combined into one ensemble. So just kind of distressed around the edges of my little stickers now. It says love you just because. I'm going to glue them right on the top of that smaller heart. And you could print, if you didn't want to buy the stickers, you could just print something out as well. I've got some twine here, again, on a long needle so that we can get it through the thickness of this wood tag. And then I'll go ahead and add the beads to each side of the twine. And then I'll knot those off and cut off the excess, of course. Making this a little bit shorter. I add 2 beads on each side. So you could add 1 or 2 beads. And I'll go ahead. I don't know why I put the beads on first. It's probably easier to knot without the beads because, you know, as you're pulling the string through with the beads might come off. But, you know, I'm a little bit backwards, so what the heck, it worked. We're going with it. So make a little knot where you want. Beads are on. Make a knot after the bead, like I said just a little bit ago. Cut off the excess, and that makes this part of our ensemble complete. And we'll move on to our last little bit. Super cute. I love how all these go together. So here's a quick peek at what it looks like. So our last one, we're going to use that thick heart that you get from Dollar Tree, of course. Everything I've got here, most 98% of it's all from Dollar Tree. Sanding it up so it's all rustic to go with the rest of the other 2 projects. Here's the heart that matches. If you look down below, you can see that checked heart on the other 2 projects. So that's how I kind of made it go together. Find a common paper that you like to put on all 3 pieces. So if you want to keep it as an ensemble, and if you don't, you want it separate, any of these would be cute, just like I said earlier, you know, fireplace mantle, on your tiered tray, whatever. Got another sticker here that I sewed onto some cardboard again. It says, "Love with all your heart." This piece, it is from my supply. It's an old scrapbooking embellishment. I will put a link in the description box for you. It was hard for me to find that. I found it on Amazon. It's going to be first come, first serve because, you know, when I looked the other day, there were very few in there. Hopefully that link is still there. I mean, I will check, but I'll have a link down below for you. They're going to be hard to find. These are some keys. You can pick these up at Hobby Lobby in the wedding section. This little piece kind of comes apart, so I'm taking it apart to slip the key on. And you could use just any kind of ring, a little scrapbook ring or something if you want, or a little cute little doorknob if you want would be cute. And then just kind of hang a key on there. I'm using 2 pieces of string here, 2 pieces of twine, thin twine. Put 2 together and then a thicker twine. And I'm going to put this little knocker knob, because if you go in the sections, scrapbook sections, you can find all sorts of cute little mini knobs and stuff that you could scrapbook with or use like this, and you can find something if you want. And then just gluing that little sentiment underneath, and then I'll glue the 2 twine bows up above, and then that makes this whole ensemble complete. So I really hope you enjoyed all 3 of these tags today. I'm curious to know if you would make all of them as a set, or if you would make, you know, 1 or 2 of these. Let me know in the comments which one was your favorite. Did you like the love story tag? Did you like the beautiful tag? Do you like the little heart? That heart would be so cute on a tiered tray. So cute. But let me know in the comments. Like I said, I'd be curious to find out which one you liked. Remember, if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and hit that red subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on a single video from me. Please give this video a thumbs up. It helps my channel to grow. I thank you for sharing your time with me, and I'll talk with you again soon. Bye.